I got a little fishing story. It's a quick one. You know the punchline of this one. It was a favorite of yours for a while. Ice fishing. Last time I went fishing, I think it was really cool because you just sit there. And fishing is sitting there, but ice fishing is really just sitting there because you're sitting next to a hole. The line is in. You're just waiting for it to get caught. So my line went off. I pulled it up. I remember it was really freaky because it's just murky. And then as soon as it started, it's like, oh, it's huge. Oh, it's creepy. But I pulled out. It was big for me as a kid. It's probably, without exaggerating, at least this big. It was a northern pike, which I guess was edible but not desirable. So I go out, and this is the middle of like a lake, frozen. It's really cool, like a wasteland. It's awesome. I go out, and I'm holding it, proud of my catch. And then there's a neighboring ice fishing shed out there, pretty far, but just close enough that I can hear him. Watch another guy walk out of his thing as I walk out of mine. And he goes, "What you got there?" And I go, "I got a whaling spike." And I remember seeing his figure like, "What?" And he's just standing there like, "What the? I got a whaling spike." And he didn't say it. He just stared at me like, either I don't understand what you said or you're retarded. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't know what it was called.
Whaling spike.
Whaling spike. I was very proud.
I bet you were. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've never been ice fishing. I'd like to do that. My earliest fishing memory, we lived in Camdenton, I think, or Osage Beach. We lived somewhere in Missouri when I was really young, and there was a pond next to. We had a mobile home, and there was a pond that was, I don't know, 200 feet away or something. And I got one of those little kid button cast poles, and there was like little bass and bluegill and stuff in this pool. And I couldn't catch them. I never caught anything, but I would go with my dad and my uncle. And I one time caught one, and I really did. I was like, oh. And I watched my uncle and my dad 1,000 times when they catch them. They just grab it by the body and they pull the hook out. And they hold it like this. And I was just like, I'll just do that. And so I'm just elated, 4 or 5 years old, just young kid, just like, oh, I caught a fish. And he goes, bring it over here. And so I go to grab it, and I grab it by the fin. And they have sharp fins. So I just cut my hand. I just remember like ow, and then but the elation of I caught a fish. I was like saving face and crying at the same time, like happy, but like I got this. It's a fish. Yeah. And then to be like hold it up, and I was sort of like happy, and it was there's still a picture of me holding it like this.
Were you bleeding?
Yeah, I mean, I said. Then I said, good job. You could tell they were positive reinforcing, and they knew that I just grabbed it. My uncle was next to me. I was too young to recognize all of the subliminal messaging that was going on, but you could tell, like looking back on it, I could see that they were probably just like, oh, he cut himself. But if we just act happy, then he won't remember that. And it was very much, like, good job, buddy. Yeah. And like,
but I remembered.
Yeah. That's one of the, I have a picture of me holding it up, and I remember holding it up, and my uncle's in the picture. I was tiny. I was like this big.